Hello, fellow faithful. It is Bulldog here, the world's greatest silver analyst, and I am here to talk the complete roster guide to what CLG could do in this offseason. The moves we could make, the moves I think we should make, pretty much everyone available to us. I'm going to go through and talk different situations and cover as much as I can. I've got an ice cold Diet Dr. Pepper with me, and let's get this started. So, first and foremost, first hire we should make and most important hire is going to be the coach. There are quite a few coaches out there who all have pretty good resumes. Ones I am a pretty big fan of would be Reaper, Irene, Max Waldo, Peter Dunn, and obviously LS. And Kane is rumored to be gone. Kane would also be a pretty good pickup. The rest of them, Surenfire, I've heard good things about. But this is kind of going to be the most important signing for us. Most of all, I don't think Max Waldo is a head coach. But I have heard him talk about the game. And I think he is one of the smartest minds out there when it comes to the game, especially when it comes to things like weight manipulation, rotations, and lane assignments. I think he has a really, really good understanding of those things, and that is something that we did not have a remote understanding of last year, and I think he could really help out with that and just be a great addition in terms of strategy and just bringing in a very smart mind about the game who knows how to talk about it with people with dissenting opinions, and it would just be a great addition because it would just make us smarter and better at every single aspect of the game. Irene, I would love to bring him back. I think we've seen he is smart about the game. He can run. He can run a head coaching position. He did at EG, and he did it pretty well. I think they got, was it second or third their first split, and they kind of overperformed expectations, and they did a pretty good job there. Peter Dunn did an insane job with Mad Lions, and if we were to go with a younger team, he would definitely be a brilliant addition there. And LS is obviously a long shot. I don't think he's going to be coaching anywhere. I think he's just going to keep doing his thing. But there's a small chance if he does coach, CLG would probably be the place he would go to, since he's pretty loyal, and we were the people that we were the org that first took a shot on him, and it's paid off. Another option would be to go with Surenfire if we were to go with a pretty Oceanic heavy team and bring somebody in from that culture. But no matter what, I want fucking Max Waldo on this team as an analyst, strategy coach. I don't think he should be head coach, but I want him in the room, going over VODs with the team, going over lane matchups. He's a Korean challenger level player. He's really good. So we have a number of options we can go here, and there are a lot of good ones, and I think it will greatly influence what decisions we make elsewhere. So I think the most interesting lane to talk about to start with would be the mid lane. I think there are only a couple of choices for us. We go hard. We go really hard for a Niski or a Jensen. I think those would be the two big names, or we try and bring someone in like Nemesis, and we spend big. Those would be options. We could keep with Pobelter, and if we kept with Pobelter, I would prefer to see kind of young talent around him do kind of like what Mad Lions did last year. So if Peter Dunn is the coach, bringing in a Pobelter, keeping Pobelter would be pretty good. Jizuke is kind of coin flippy, golden glue. He's fine, but I would much rather go with Palafox, Yusui, or Evolved, or a Blazed Olive. Those are the young guys that I think are ready to step up. Bjergsen's gone. Niski and Jensen could be on new teams. So I think it would be a pretty good time for a new mid laner to really start coming up in NA. And in terms of Kuzin, I think is pretty good from Korea, but I don't know. And Tuesday's contract is up. He should be gone. He's not going to be in LCS. And we need to bring in either 5 Fire or always plan ahead. These two in the amateur scene are freaks. They are better than probably half of the academy mid laners right now. I would say they're just a step behind where these guys are. They're so good, and they need to be developing in the Academy League, because in a year or two they should be starters, and they should be good starters for NA. Like these guys could replace like Ryoma right now and be an upgrade, or Ica or Froggen. They're just better. Jungle is kind of what I want to talk about next. Xmithy just got released today. Broxa is likely out of TL. Santorin's contract is up. He's likely in at TL. Meteos is an option. Shadow is very interesting. There's that Peter Dunn. You could bring Peter Dunn and get Shadow. Build around that. But in terms of options in jungle, it's kind of limited. Like, you could stick with Wiggly. He was pretty mediocre. He was pretty bad. Like, his team fighting and mechanics were solid, but his pathing was just terrible. This is really the only position that I know some Oceanic players. I've seen a little bit of Babip and Pabu, and I think they are pretty solid. I think they would be an upgrade over Wiggly. I would love to bring one of them in, and kind of a young up-and-coming jungler as well, and have these guys just be an option. I want options at jungle. I don't want Fragus anymore. I want somebody that can play at an LCS level. That at least has the potential to. But Haru would be the big Korean import that I saw that would be pretty good. But I don't think CLG is going to bring in any big Korean imports or anything like that. Just because we're not that reputable of an org anymore, and we don't really have the money. And the last time we brought in a big Korean import, pretty much every time we have, it's blown up in our face. So I don't think that's gonna happen. Top lane, there's a wealth of riches here. There's a lot. Licorice, off of Cloud9. Impact, contract is up with TL. Haunter, contract is up with Golden Guardians, I'm pretty sure. Broken Blade is rumored to be off of TSM. Alfari, his contract is up. He's one of the best top laners in Europe. I've heard a 7-figure deal with Team Liquid, so I don't think that's going to happen for us, but it would be good. Kumo was pretty solid for EG. Fake God was a beast in Academy for 100 Thieves. His contract is up. They brought in... they brought up a guy from their amateur squad, and they have Someday, so Fake God is out there. Viper is garbage. Zion Spartan washed up. Kuve would be out there. I wouldn't mind Deus starting. So there's a number of options. We're probably not going to end up with one of the bigger ones. I'm not a big Broken Blade fan in general. So, and Viper, dear God, please, God, no. And I don't know anything about the Oceanic players at this position. I do have to say, some of these guys just have great names. Swiper, Biopanther, Nobody. Like, some of these Oceanic players just are rocking the name game. I really like Only. Oh, some of them are just really good. Chaz. So, next we go to AD Carry. And with the AD Carry, I tend to really like to stay in North America. That's just... North America has always put out some pretty good AD Carries. And we've only ever sent one import AD Carry to Worlds. Obviously, they're Sneaky. I would love to bring Sneaky on. I think he's still one of the best AD carries in North America from the last time I saw him play. He would be a huge name for the brand. Oh, that was... I kind of have a bunch of different perspective teams. I'll put together a for the brand one here, and I'll... Well, I mean, it's probably just be the same as the meme team, to be honest. Just the people with the biggest names. Bang. I think he's washed. I don't like him. He's rumored to be gone from EG. Stix A, I would be alright with. He's still one of the better AD carries in North America. Wind, I wouldn't be terribly happy about. But if we took a chance on him, I wouldn't hate it as long as we had some other kind of up-and-comer as an option that we could rotate in. Alltech, fuck no. He just sits, gets a paycheck. Doublelift, rumored to possibly be gone from TSM. Thought about retiring. I wouldn't want him back. Especially since he was apparently a huge dick to Hotshot back in the day. I don't think he would want to come back either. I think he would rather commit Sudoku. Cody's son's weird. I don't know how good he is. He would be... I don't think he would be too much different from Stix A. Same with Deathly, who is rumored to be coming over to CLG. Not... Like... I thought he was going to be really good back in the day. And he's serviceable. And he could definitely be... He's probably around the 9th or 10th best AD carry in North America, but you don't really want the 9th or 10th best AD carry in North America. I like Tomo. He's very raw, but he did really good things for Cloud9 Academy. Lost is obviously a hot commodity, so King's a pretty hot commodity. Crown Shot, I mean, if he were to come to NA, I think it would probably be an LS Crown Shot package deal. I think that's one of the only things that would get Crowny to come to NA. And if he did, I think CLG would be his most likely destination. Upset, not worth an import slot. And don't know about any of these guys. Raze has a cool name. Arrow's out there, but I think he's pretty washed. Support, fuck me. There's not a whole lot I like from the support pool here. And I don't think a lot of people do. Smoothie, I don't want Smoothie back. He's just a really bad laner. He's like a pretty good... He's a pretty good engager. But, dear God, he's so bad in lane. And it might have killed 2 careers, like, his poor laning. Biofrost, I think TSM kind of mental boomed him, I think. He would be alright to have back, but I don't think he really wants to be here. Treats, I've heard, could go to Fnatic. I don't know how good he is. Gate, he's kind of a budget option. I think he's a better laner than Smoothie. I think he would be fine in like a pinch or like desperation. He would be okay. He's exactly serviceable. Wadid, he's trying to make a comeback. I remember him being pretty bad last time he was in NA. But he was pretty good in the past. But the guy that replaced him on FlyQuest, JJ, I am a pretty big fan of, because before Power of Evil got there, the only success FlyQuest ever had was when JJ was the starting support. And he has like a record of like, I think it's like 10-4. He has a really good record as a support in the LCS. I like what I saw from him. I think he's a good dude, hard worker. He would be someone that I would like to... I personally would like to bring in. I'm pretty high on him. Diamond, everybody really likes. He's one of the hot commodities at support. Chime was alright from what I saw. In Academy for Golden Guardians, I think he's still a little raw. This would be kind of a high risk, high reward play. Huhi, top 3 support in NA. Would love to have him back on CLG. He's one of my favorite players ever. He's just really good. I think he just perfectly embodies CLG's culture. I think Golden Guardians might pay out the ass for him. So I don't know if there's any chance we get him. And obviously don't know too much about the Oceanic supports, but I would hope that one of them could be pretty good, and this would definitely be the role I would like to look into the Oceanic players the most and give one of them a try. Like Rogue, Decoy, Beats, those are all great names. In terms of Academy, like, get Fragus and Tuesday out of there. For sure. Bring in Fire APA. I would probably want to bring in an Oceanic support, or an Oceanic jungler. And that way we have two viable options at jungle. Support, I guess, like, Phil is fine. I don't think he's really ever going to reach that LCS level. But I don't know of anyone, like any up-and-comer, to replace him. But if there is one possibly, I wouldn't mind that. But I want Smoothie gone for sure. So let's go over a couple of the potential rosters that have come up with. We have the classic, bringing back the squad. Zion Spartan, Xmithy, Pobelter, Stixay, and Huhi. This would just hit right in the nostalgia. I think it would be... I still think it would be an alright roster. Probably be top 5. Like, Huhi's balling the fuck out. Xmithy's still good. Pobelter is fine. Stixay can still be really good. Like, Darshan, Zion Spartan would be the weakest member. There's the run back, where we just bring everyone back, and it is nothing but pain and suffering, and I don't think anyone wants this. So let's go on to the speed run, where we are trying to speed run relegations, the worst possible roster I could come up with. Bring in Viper, who is mentally boomed and looked terrible. Fragus just shouldn't be in the LCS. Ica, same thing. Altec, he's like a 28-year-old AD carry who has been washed for like 4 years now, but still somehow gets a paycheck. And Destiny, who was just ass in EU, and bringing in an import slot for a terrible support. This is the worst I could come up with, like, within reason that a team could do. You could obviously go out and, like, scrounge Diamond 4 and get a bunch of players from there and do like that one Russian team did. If we had a blank check, I think this would be the team we would put together. Licorice, Shadow, Jensen, Crownshot, Huhi. Licorice, one of the best top laners. Shadow, I think, is the best jungle option, but I think he's going to be expensive to bring in. Jensen, I chose Jensen over Niski because import restrictions. You can't bring in both Shadow and Crownshot if you have Niski as well. So Crownshot, really good AD carry. I mean, I like him quite a bit. Fun guy, knows the game really well. Huhi, just one of the best supports in the game right now. Really good. The best roster I could come up with, spending as little as possible. The Shekels roster. So, Fate God or Deus. Pabu, who I liked in the jungle. I think he is most likely to be competent from what I've seen. Polifox or Yasui. I actually think Polifox might end up being fairly expensive, or relatively expensive, because Cloud9 Academy players tend to be that way. So Yasui would be the guy. Wind and JJ. I mean, I still think this would be an upgrade over last year. Even though Wind would be a downgrade. Mid lane, a lot of potential for that to be an upgrade. Fate God or Deus, both would be an upgrade. JJ would be an upgrade. I think it would be good. The Leandry salesman. Deus, he played for LS on the BBQ Olivers. Nemesis and Crowny, two of LS's good friends. And this obviously would be LS and Max Waldo as the coaches. Fnatic, just because I don't think they're gonna... I think he's probably the best academy jungler that we would have a chance of getting. And I don't think they would bring in a veteran guy like an Xmithy. But who knows? And then Roll Swap Wind to support. One thing I would actually like to see that I don't think it's likely going to happen, I would love for Pobelter to roll swap to support. I think that would be one of our best options. I think he's good at the game, but some of his like wave manipulation and whatnot skills, his roaming, are lacking in the mid lane. And I think he still has the mechanical prowess to be really good, and I think he could make the transition to support really well. This is what I would do. I like Fake God quite a bit. I think he's an up-and-comer. I don't necessarily think he's a superstar, but I think he can be a really, really, really good weak side player. Bring in Xmithy or Pabu, a more veteran guy in the jungle. Like Xmithy, I still think has it. I think he's one of the best jungle options out there. I think he fits the CLG culture really well. It would be awesome to have his dad back, like around the team, because Xmithy dad is just awesome. And Pabu I just like out of Oceania. I'd bring in Palafox or Yusui. Both of them are good. I like Palafox a little more. I think Stixxay and Sneaky are both still good. And there aren't a whole lot of up-and-coming AD carries that I love. Like maybe Lost or King. Like Lost or King would be good, and I'm pretty close on that. It would be a lot of young players, which kind of scares me. But I might go that way. And then Diamond or JJ, I think they're two of the better young supports out there. And support pool is just lacking. There just is not a lot of talent unless I don't even know what there is in terms of importing talent really for support. Like, if we could get what I would do actually here is PSG Talon, their support. Let me Google that real quick. I forget his name. Kai Wing. I think Kai Wing he's probably around a top 10 support in the world. He was a freak at Worlds. He would be the guy I would want to bring in, except I don't think he speaks a lick of English. And he is from Hong Kong. But yeah, that's who I would bring in, even though it would be communication issues. I think he's good enough that we could figure it out, and he would be worth the risk. I was so impressed by him at Worlds. All right, let's go on to the meme team. The memers. Impact, Meteos, Golden Glue, Sneaky, and hashtag Poom Gang. I don't think there's a chance 100 Thieves gives up Poom. I think he's a rising star. I think he's going to be really good. That 100 Thieves has it figured out in terms of getting talent up to the next level and just bringing people up. Kenvi is going to be one of the best junglers in the LCS, and they are going to cling on to him as hard as they can because they developed him, they discovered him, and he's the future of 100 Thieves. But these would be the big memers. In terms of Meteos, I would only like Meteos if we also brought in Sneaky. But I wouldn't want Meteos alone. I'd want the pair or just Sneaky. And Meteos is still like an alright jungler, but I mean we know what he is, and generally right now I don't want to do a lot of we know what they are, especially when the we know what they are is a pretty low ceiling. Like with Xmithy, Sneaky, and Stixay, we know what they are is a pretty high ceiling. Like they both had a lot of they've all had domestic success and international success. Like we know that their ceiling is pretty darn high. What I think will happen is some combination of this, Fake God, Hanser, or Kumo. I think that's about the level of top laner we're going to be with. Somebody that can play weak side with a decent champion pool. Not really going to be a hard carry, but won't really lose you games. So kind of safe on the top side because that's what's available. That's what we're going to be able to get for a good price. Jungler, I think Xmithy or Shadow. I mean, the guy I'd really like to bring in at jungle is Potluck, but I don't think Immortals is going to give them up because I think Potluck is a really good young jungler. If I had my choice, I don't think he's available, but if he is, he would be the guy I would bring in for sure, and I think CLG would look to do that. But Xmithy is available. I think Xmithy is just still so good. I think they're going to bring Pobolter back or bring in a young upcoming mid laner, Yasui, Palafox. What's the other one that's pretty... A Blazed Olive, Evolved, one of those guys. Bottom lane, I think it'll probably be Stixay, Deathly. I don't know why, but I don't have a lot of faith in terms of the AD carry position here. Stixay's contract isn't up. He's still a solid player. I don't necessarily think Stixay was the problem, but it also does kind of feel like his time with CLG is up. Maybe an Oceania AD carry, an Oceanic jungler. Like, I know Tafo is really out there figuring out what is available from Oceania. And with that region being dissolved into NA, he has become the first point of contact for a lot of the talent from there and could really find some gems to bolster the roster with that incoming wave of talent. In terms of support, I hate this, but I think they probably keep Smoothie. Maybe bring in Wadid. I don't know. Like, support just seems so desperate. And like, I don't know why, but I feel like they're not going to make a drastic move there. I feel like we're gonna settle for mediocrity at support yet again, and I don't really like it. But hopefully I'm wrong about that. Maybe there's an Oceanic support who's just a freak, like maybe Isles or Beat or Dragku. Decoy is a great name. I don't know. And then Ocean Man. It's just all OCE players. We become the OCE team. We just grab the best from that region, completely rebuild around that. Grab Schernfire as the coach, and just try and build with that entire region. And I asked the CLG Discord before recording for some predictions. I have one coming in here, and I fucking hate it. Deus top, Fragis jungle, Tuesday mid, Wind 80 carry, Phil support. Yeah, I will become a fan of a different team if that happens. That, like, if Fragis is the fucking jungler, and like Fragis and Tuesday just need to be gone. They're not LCS caliber. But this has been the guide to CLG's off-season potential moves. Kind of giving perspective as to what's out there. It's pretty hard to filter through what all is out there, and I don't know who's willing to deal what kind of the import situation will be with COVID, so maybe trying to stick more local. I hope we go younger, more risky. 80 carries so weird. 80 carries really weird because there's some good established talent out there. Support just seems barren. Mid lane is super nice. Top lane really nice in terms of what we can get. So solo lanes are looking up. Jungle, nothing like Shadow is nice, but nothing I'm too terribly excited about. But hopefully we can bring in a couple of stud Oceanic players. That would be something I would love. Some players that I don't really know the name of, but people that watch the Oceanic region know it, love it, and we can put together a good season. The big thing, though, bring in a fucking good coach, please. Max Waldo. If we bring in Max Waldo, I don't really care what else happens. I will be happy with that. Like, at least I know we made a good coaching decision and are trying to get better, because Max, I can't speak highly enough of how he talks about the game and just how much knowledge he has about a lot of the little things that us plebs don't really understand in League of Legends. Thank you so much for watching. Click subscribe if you haven't. Like the video, share it, and I will see you all next season, and keep the faith.